I think 5 women out of the top six who are going to be competing in this finale. So we've got Megan Carter-Davis, Sarah Rollins, Kirsten Strain, Sarah Wimberley, who we think hasn't joined us for this one, Naomi Thornton, and Rebecca McCready. Who are we looking? Who are our favourites from those list of women?
I don't know. We've got a couple of returners from last women's final. So Kirsten's been in one before and was pretty decent, if I remember rightly. And we've also seen Megan Carter-Davis a couple of times. She was in the World O-Day relay that we did, or team event that we did. So I'm expecting her to be pretty decent too. But yeah, there's not as much experience from these ladies in terms of we had a lot of races with guys in, but this is kind of only the second or third time these ladies have had a chance to race head to head. So yeah, anything could happen, I reckon. No standout favourites for me. What about yourself?
Well, I think so. We're looking at someone like Sarah Rollins, who was 15th in the middle, 13th in the long, had a bit of a mare in the sprint comparatively. And this is bearing in mind she's a sprint specialist. She was 41st, and she's one of the favourites. Megan Carter-Davis as well. Current GB elite, she was 19th on the middle, 16th on the long, and 23rd on the sprint, so pretty consistent as well. I'd expect her to do a pretty good job. I think those two are my two favourites, although Naomi Thornton, who's a W16 from South Yorkshire, she's been getting a lot of practice in with the South Yorkshire squad that they've been doing, and really managing to challenge Anna Todd, who won the last time we had the women's race. So really been challenging her. So I think she, despite having a lot less experience and having maybe a bit of difficulties on the long and the sprint, she was 26th on the middle, which is pretty fantastic, and has got that experience on the multiplayer.
I love the fact that all the SYO lot have been doing their own like private training sessions, because we've got some SYO in this race, some SYO in the next race. It's just I don't know. It's quite nice to see like the whole team is getting together and like trying to improve whilst they're all stuck inside. It's nice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there was an SYO versus FVO catching features race as well, which is fantastic. So they're going to be coming up. So I think for me it's Megan Carter-Davis and Sarah Rollins. They're the top two, although we do need to bear in mind these top 6, although we only have 5 of them actually logged onto the server, are the top 6 from the overall 10 stage. So they're not the top 6 from just the catching feature stages. So I think that is something particularly we've got to remember. So they still have like various levels of their ability in terms of actual catching features.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think that I've got to back Kirsten. You know, classic Scottish junior squad right there.
Okay, are we nearly ready to get going then on this race?
I think we're just waiting on Brad to show up. I don't know if there's been an issue somewhere.
We'll see if we can get him in and then get on and get ready.
Or else no one will be able to see what's happening.
No, exactly. So once Brad has joined in, there we go, he's joined in, then we will be able to get this. And these competitors know, if they read the final details carefully enough, there's going to be a butterfly loop in this one. So we just hope that works out quite nicely. It's quite a big butterfly loop to split them up, make sure there's no following. It should be quite exciting, I think, to see that, because it's definitely an area where the visibility is pretty good and you can see pretty far. So for a mass start race, it should be, I think, pretty exciting to see them all go. So let's get this underway as we get everybody loaded up, and once everybody is in, we will set off. You can hopefully see the map there already. Very short number 1, and then very shortly into the butterfly loops as well. So we are just waiting for everybody to get in. and we'll soon be on our way.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go. So all of them have now started off straight into the lead. So
I think
Megan Carter-Davies in there first.
It's just good etiquette in catching features to have a short number one. I don't know why, but it seems to be the done thing in all the online competitions. So I've started adopting it into my own planning. And this is the first of this is where the butterfly loop starts, and you see everyone standing still trying to work out where they're supposed to be going. So let's see how it splits them up.
Yeah, so if you're just looking on the stream to see who everybody is, Megan Carter-Davies, obviously Tommy. Zoom is Sarah Rollins, because her son is Tommy, so that's the account that she is currently on. So just kind of be aware. So if we could try and see who's on each of the legs, we've got
so it's Megan and Sarah Rollins on one leg, and then Kirsten and Rebecca on the other leg, and then I think Naomi is also on that one, although she's fallen a little bit behind, made a little bit of a wobble going into the second control.
Yeah, I think she's on the same leg as Megan and is she?
No, she's Naomi's on the same one as Kirsten.
Naomi's on the same one as Kirsten.
So Kirsten's stretching away a little bit from Rebecca, but Meg and Sarah are staying pretty close together. This is tricky one to follow, switching back and forth between each butterfly loop.
Let's have a look at Megan and Sarah. They're both going through. They've gone down into the dip. They're coming back up the hill again for this control.
Stuck together like glue.
And they're really close. I mean, you can see that they're just heading exactly the same. Kind of same way. Sarah maybe going a little bit straighter, Megan maybe a little bit hesitant into that control, but they've both got that now. Let's have a quick look back at the other loop.
Mistake from Kirsten.
We can look at Kirsten. Yeah, let's have a look. She's gone too far on the fourth control. And is that someone about to overtake her? So Rebecca's just overtaken Kirsten.
Yeah, Rebecca's way in front, and looks like Naomi is also going to overtake Kirsten. Oh, I think what Kirsten did was a 180 out of control 4. I think she's already got control 4, but she's gone the opposite direction and ended up in the car park rather than going down towards number 5.
So Rebecca is definitely leading that group, and you can see both Rebecca and Sarah all both on their way to that common control. I think Megan's already out of it, but making a mistake actually into number 7. She's bounced off the fence, just not quite got the line, and now stuck on the edge of that open area. She's now figured out where she is, diving back in to go and get the actual control number 7. But there's a small mistake there, and maybe Sarah Rollins catching back up.
When you've not played that much catching features, it can get quite tricky once you leave the line, trying to sort of re-angle yourself. It's very easy to set your map and run in straight lines, but once you lose that direction, and you can see Megan Carter-Davies going.
Yeah, I don't know where she thinks she's going, but she's gone. Maybe she thinks she's going to the 9th control instead of the 8th control, but now she's totally I don't know what
she's doing. This leaves the door open for Sarah Rollins, definitely.
Yeah, it really
so everyone
does.
Now everyone's very split up now. It feels very spread out. It'll be interesting to see how it all comes back together, because I think Rebecca is actually doing really, really well right now. And I think that she's going to come back in.
Yeah, it's not until the 10th control that they kind of all come back together and we figure out what's going on with all of them. So Megan Carter-Davies now back kind of going up this slope, but she's got to find this bit of fence. She found the first fence. Hopefully that's a good relocation, can see the other fence ahead, and then we'll just go right up there. She shouldn't want to cross that fence, and does just need to keep running up there. But yeah, that's significant, because you see Sarah Rollins is now on her way to the 10th control. I haven't got the 9th one. So
Sarah Rollins on the way in. Rebecca making a little bit of a mistake on number 9, just drifted a little bit too far right, and that's going to hurt her. She's now going to be falling behind. But
that's quite hard to relocate from that position as well, I think, in
lots of bumps.
Those hills.
But if she keeps going, she'll hit the path and the fence, and that should bring her around. But yeah, and there's Sarah Rollins through the butterfly loops, well in front. Yeah, got a huge lead now.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's not over yet. Still plenty of course still to go. So we'll see if she can hold on to it, keep her head.
Yeah, very direct into number 11, looking very good, spied the control. But then as we look into number 12, you've got to be pretty careful, because suddenly you've got to contend with an uncrossable fence.
Yeah, so there's a couple of little routes into 12. You've got the small crossing point, or you can run on the track and go down to the big crossing point at the far end. I think going for the smaller crossing point is quicker, but you then have a harder route into the 12th control.
And as you were saying before, it's once you go across the off the line, it's really hard to get a good. You've got to obviously rotate the map in order to get a new section here. So Sarah Rollins has stopped here. She's figuring out where you have to go in, but she's spotted that little crossing point, as you mentioned, that is just directly south of control number 12. So she's going to go through there, but then, as you said, that does make it a little bit more difficult. So that's the crossing point over the gate, and then now got to just pretty much head north.
It's almost due north into that 12th control. And we can see, sorry, just going to flick back through everyone. Rebecca making a small mistake on 11, but came out of the butterfly loops in second, which is pretty good. Megan Carter-Davis closing in, though, also through the butterfly loop. So if she gets 11 right, that'll put her back up to second. Kirsten just coming to the end of the butterfly loops as well, doing pretty well. Naomi looks like she's missed on 7 and is looping back around trying to find it. So a little bit of a wobble from her, which is a shame. Hopefully she can find that quickly and get back in.
Yeah, it looks like she's just kind of going back out to the track now, maybe going to relocate from there and make her way back into the control.
And Megan Carter-Davis back up into second. But it looks like this is going to be too big of a gap to close down. Sarah Rollins, only 3 controls to go, has navigated the fence section.
And she went in and out of the fence exactly the same place. So pretty good. And then now there's only a few short controls to go on this section. Can I be honest? This map looks amazing. I would really want to run here. I hope it's as nice in person as it is on catching features.
It's really not.
Oh no!
So it is a really good area, and there's a lot more to it. So over the road to the south, there's a big hill and open and things like that. But the forest is got a lot of brashings and things on the ground, so it's not quite as runnable as it looks. But it is still a brilliant area. Really, really technical. Lots of lovely contour detail.
So Sarah Rollins just being very careful here as she goes into the 15th control, looking around her, and she's just slightly
she knows
off.
she's close. But
she knows she's really close, and we saw how she stopped at this ride, and she knows she's really, really, really close to the control. And I'm trying not to say too much. But
I think it was good that she went in, she knew she'd missed it, and then she was back out to the right again, tried to relocate and go again. That's good orienteering there, just limiting the mistakes that you make. You know, she's got a big lead at the moment. She just needs to grab those last few controls, and then she's done. But
hey, there we go. She's got it.
She gets, but yeah, Megan Carter-Davis doing pretty well.
Use the other crossing.
Use the other crossing. Definitely recovered. Just at the end of the first butterfly loop, she just seemed to get her angles a bit mixed up, and there you go, Sarah Rollins for the win.
Taking the win there. Megan Carter-Davis directly on her way to 14. Pretty good.
Oh, and we've lost
Naomi's dropped out.
That's a shame.
Sarah says binned last control. That's what it says.
Yeah.
And Megan looks like she's going to be a lot. So she's got up to the knoll to the east of the control. It should create should create a much better attack point, but she's just missed it. There we go. These depressions are really, really tiny, and then just straight back to the last control. Let's have a look where Kirsten is. She's at the 12th control. Seems to have just kind of stopped there, just maybe deciding which looking at the crossings as to decide which way to go to get back out to the fence. So that's pretty good. Rebecca is, I Can't tell which control she's got.
She's going to 12.
12. Okay.
She just took an interesting route to the crossing point. I don't know. I think she thinks that she's at the eastern crossing point, but she actually went through the western. So she's a little bit further over, a little bit further down the fence than she thinks she is. But I think out to the path, she should see the boulder on her right, and that should get her back in. Oh,
Megan said she started using the horizontal pink lines as north lines. Yeah, that was really hard.
That explains the 90-degree errors.
Yeah. And then Sarah Rollins saying she does that in real events as well. Goodness me. Some big old 90-degreeners there from Megan Carter. Yeah, that is, I found that tricky when I was pre-running it, I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. And now it looks like Rebecca McCready is from D side. She's on her way nicely, using this kind of re-entrant as a line feature. Going to absolutely nail this control. There we go. She can see it over there. Easy peasy one now.
This last control is really tripping people up, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
That number 15, people really struggled on that one.
It's because it's really, like, you can just see the control, the feature there. It's so tiny.
It is a very, very small
depression. It's just, wow, completely tiny. So then Kirsten, all the way in here, just gone off a little bit.
Yeah. That's fine. She'll hit the track. She'll work it out.
Yep.
Just aiming off.
Yeah, exactly. That's a technique. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go back and see where Rebecca's doing. She successfully got that one. Now needs to, you know what, I did exactly the same thing. I got to that fence, was like, oh yeah, it's uncrossable, isn't it? So I had to find the actual crossing point, which will be the one that she's used earlier. And then it's going to go down to that one, and then only a few more controls left. So a reminder, we're going to have the men's race coming up very soon, so anyone who's waiting to play that can jump on board as soon as we've done with the women's course, and we're going to go through some of our results and routes from the last one. Oh, just overshooting. Kirsten saying, oh, some of that was terrible. Good fun though. Congrats to Sarah.
Yeah, and then big congrats to Sarah. That was a very dominant display from Sarah. Just kept her head in the. I think it's quite tough when you're in that little group and the person who you're with makes a mistake, because you have to have a lot of self-belief that what you're doing is actually correct and you are going the right way, to let the other person run off in a random direction. So I think that's pretty good from her. And then once she had the gap, she just
the control
didn't make any mistakes.
I think she just missed the control.
Oh no!
Like it was literally, I could see it in the corner. It's behind a little bush. That's why I just go back, all the way back. No.
It's so hard, isn't it? It's so difficult.
This is really difficult. Goodness me. Yeah, straight back. You're so like, honestly, within about. There we go. You see, she went the other side of that tree. That is how close it was. Then just the last one now, which obviously a lot of people found pretty difficult. Again, another one of those little depressions. Those two depressions at the end, very, very sneaky. So over the right here, over the hill on the right, and there it is on the right of the screen. It's just there we go. Fantastic.
I think that's probably the best anyone's done that control today.
Yeah, let's have a look, see if we can see it on the split.
Was that fast? That was a fastest split. There you go.
Yes.
Incredible.
Fantastic. Rebecca ending with a fastest split to 15. Actually, pretty bang on the finish as well. So fantastic.
Solid work.
Solid indeed. Well, there we go. Those are top 4. Unfortunately, we had the dropout from Naomi there. Hard luck to her finding that very tricky indeed. So congrats to all of them. First place Sarah Rollins, second place Megan Carter Davis, third place Kirsten Strain, and fourth there Rebecca McCready. So I'm going to disconnect from this so we can bring Chris Smithard in, because we're going to have a little look at some of the results going on from particularly the rapid routes. So we're going to go through those solutions then, Chris, if I can bring you in.
Yep, sorry, I was just trying to sort something out. Yeah, we can I'm going to share my screen. Brad, if you could let me share the screen, that would be great.
And then, so I think we're going to look through the rapid routes.
Yeah, we're going to do that one, and then we're going to have a quick look over the results, and that's while the men are getting ready to play. So where are we?
So yeah, so we had all the different ones here on the rapid routes. This is the first one here.
Yeah. So I think most people got this one right. Let's try to start with a fairly straightforward, going around to the right. You have to see the uncrossable barrier here. You couldn't come down here, and otherwise you had to go all the way around. So that was the first one.
That one fairly straightforward.
And then the second one, you have to come round to the right, just because it was just a bit shorter with the cutting the diagonal basically across the grass here. Just
you can see now with those two on the screen, you can really see the difference of the two when they're showed up there. You can clearly see that the right hand one just goes closer to the line.
Yeah, I think when you can actually see the line on the screen, that does make it a lot easier. And then the third one, so a longer one. So yeah, you really got the route choice is basically from down here. So when you look at it from down there, I think that makes it a bit easier to see which way's shortest.
And then also, because you're looking at the shortest, not the quickest, you can see on the latter part of that leg, there's just the opportunity to go straight from the corner of the fence to the corner of the building and just go pretty straight, and that allows you to, cut off a lot of distance.
Yeah. And then the fourth, so that was, not so much in it, but it is quicker to come around to the right. You have to make sure you didn't cut across here and go through the impossible fence. So hopefully people saw that. Down to the fifth. So yeah, you had to go right over the control to start with. Otherwise, it was a bit.
This one's tough though. That seems very, very close in it. That one I found very hard to judge. But still, you have the ability to go across the grass. You're still cutting those corners.
Yeah, it's because you're cutting the corners here. That's what makes a difference. I mean, you're cutting across this corner here, but then you've still got this bit where you haven't cut this bit here. So if you could go from here and these buildings weren't here and you go straight to this corner, then it would be pretty similar, and that would probably be quicker. Sorry, faster. Oh, shorter. Yeah, I get that. This one, a few people had troubles on this one. Well, some people thought this was blocked, I think, here. But obviously, if you thought it was blocked, then you would come around to the right. But a few people said afterwards, I think when they see the numbers here, it was shorter to come around to the right. And then, I think this was maybe the one which was people got the most wrong. I think it's a bit deceptive. Actually, it's shorter to come around back on yourself here. Basically, because you've got to come all the way out here, and then at the end you're coming back into the finish here, whereas this other one you're very close to the line.
Yeah, I think well explained.
Did you do this one, Catherine?
Yeah, I got that one right, I think. Yeah. It was definitely one of the harder ones, but I thought with the same kind of approach that going on the right, you're much closer to control once you go off that straight line.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I was making this, I thought that was going to be shorter when I drew it. So
that's the mark of a good leg, definitely. Then
and this one, I think most people got this one right, around to the right here. It's just too far coming around here. It's quite a big difference there.
Yeah, bigger difference than I thought it was going to be, but definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to take that in a race. You would lose quite a bit of time because there's nothing else stopping you there. And this one, as long as you came right out of the control and didn't come down this one, you were pretty similar. So we gave both of those routes. We gave both the blue routes.
I was going to say, because I went all the way around to the right, and
Yeah, you would have got that one right then.
I did.
I mean, I was surprised at just how big the difference was, actually.
Yeah, a whole 40 meters between those two is way more than I thought. Although as a fraction of the leg, it's quite small. But yeah, definitely. I guess you can see now. You can see all the routes written on the right hand route. Doesn't take you quite as far away from the straight line.
Yeah. And then down to the final one. So you got the 3 options, but yeah, you've got to come through the middle, and you've got to go straight. No going to the gate up here, basically straight over the fence there.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about climbing fences on this shortest route, so absolutely fine.
Yeah, we'll just assume it's very low fences. And this was just the statistics, which we'll put up on the website, so you can see 98% of people, they picked the right route for the first one. And I think we go down here, I think 37%. So leg 7 was the hardest, which is that one we were discussing, where you have to go kind of back on yourself and round to the right.
But that's interesting. Is that on the graph below? Does that mean those who picked correct picked later?
Yes, I think that's what that means. I haven't got my head. I didn't make the graph, so I'm not. I'm just looking at it now, but I think so.
Yeah, average correct time being 14.53, average incorrect time being 13.66.
Yeah. So kind of on that one, it paid to spend a little bit longer to get the right route.
Definitely.
And then we'll move on and just have a quick look at the results from each of the stages. So we've got the street view. So yeah, Joe took the win on that one. And then let's have a look at some of the juniors. So Oliver Bardsley from Happy Harps was the top junior.
Very good there. Ewan Triner, Rune de Klerk as well.
There. Yeah, it's the best woman on that one. So hopefully people enjoyed going around St Andrews in Scotland.
Yep, I certainly enjoyed that little challenge. The Skio game, which I thought was a great addition, although was not prepared for how difficult it would be compared to the warm-up.
Oh, right. Yeah, it was quite tricky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good though.
It was a good challenge. And did you play with the motion or without the motion?
With the motion. I tried without the motion, and I thought that was more difficult.
Okay.
Because I liked I think because I'm imagining myself at each point almost, and then it just feels easier. Although, yeah, that. I think I was a bit lucky on a few of them as well.
Yeah. So yeah, Rune won that one, and then he's also a junior, so that was there. And then Maya Robertson,
best female on that one
from Edinburgh Southern.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then
the juniors doing well on that one.
Yeah.
Rapid route.
Ben Brown.
Getting all of them right.
Yeah.
So 7 people getting them all right.
Yeah, that's
including Amy Darley, best female there, Anya Crocker as well.
Yeah, and they're quite close together in time as well. Yeah,
very impressive.
And we'll just have a quick look at the sprint in catching features. So yeah, Joe won that. So this might tell us a little bit about who's going to do well in the next race coming up. And we'll just have a quick look at the overall results, and then hopefully we're ready. Hopefully everyone's ready to start the catching features. So we had a tie for the between Haruki.
Well, we don't know yet. It's all going to be decided by this grand finale on catching features. So all still to play for.
Yeah, and then so Megan was the highest woman in 14th place. Yeah, and then we have a very quick look at the 7th stage as well. So this one, Haruku's got a lead on that one, and Anya Crocker from Southampton is the highest placed woman. Great
result there. Great result all around. Right, let's see. Of course, you can go back and do your own comparisons with all your club mates. Maybe have a look who has managed to beat who. Let's bring Craig in. How are we doing on the catching features?
Okay, so we lost Mikey for a bit, but we're now just waiting on Mikey and Tamas to load in. But if you guys stay out for a little bit so that you don't try and download the map as well, because you already have it, that will probably speed things up. But yeah, I don't know. Mikey seems to be having trouble connecting, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay, well, that'll be such a shame because he is one of our favourites for this particular race. So let's run through the 6 men who've managed to make it to this final. We have, as we saw, joint winning overall with a 10 stage from Japan, Haruki Ohashi. We have from Belgium, we have Rune de Klerk. So those are our top 2 tied after all the 10 stages. We have Joe Sunley, M18. We have Tamás Barany from Hungary. We have Aidan Smith. I think it's his first time in the final. I think he was in a knockout before, but his first time making it through to a final from SYO. Had some great results as a junior, jaywalk races, long distance. And he's been taking part in this South Yorkshire versus Forth Valley catching features, I think, as well. And then we have another member of South Yorkshire orienteers, Mikey Adams, in as our 6th place. But if we're looking through some of our results from the catching features from this British Open, Joe Sunley's got a 3rd, a 1st, and a 1st. So he has been pretty dominant on here, but he was beaten by Mikey Adams, which when we saying Craig once before, Mikey really, really wanted to beat Joe Sunley, and he now has on one of the races. So
finally,
yes, get in.
I don't know. Joe, at the start of lockdown, Joe was pretty good at catching features. But see, over the course, how many months has it been? It's been like, what, 2 or 3 months?
3 months.
The last couple of months, he has gotten so good. It's actually ridiculous how good he is. Like, I cannot see anyone except Joe Sunley winning this race. Rune is very good, right? We've seen Rune de Klerk before. He's pretty decent. Tamás Barany has also done pretty well before. Right, so this is a good final. Mikey is also very good, but Joe's got it in the bag for me. Easy win for Joe.
Well, something must have happened on that really tough middle distance. So for him to come 3rd. So anything can happen. We know we've seen lots of drama, specifically at the end of these races. We don't know which butterfly loop they're both going to have. So that's going to be particularly interesting.
It would be. For me, if they get different butterfly loops, that would be perfect. Because then for like half the race, we're not going to know quite who's in the lead. And it's going to be like to and fro. So that's what I want. But they'll probably both end up on the same one, run hand in hand the whole way round. And it'll come down to who finds that shallow depression on the last control quickest.
Yeah, goodness me. I think that's definitely going to cause some problems as well. But I mean, really, everybody's had some great results. All of this team, lots of top 10 results.
The only unknown for me is Haruki. Haruki. I'm not going to try his last name. Ohashi, sorry. I realised that I had never said his name out loud and then struggled.
Welcome to my job.
But yeah, he's the only unknown for me. Not sure how he's going to fare, but yeah, pretty solid results. Up until now,
I mean, 5th
in the lead
and
overall,
6th on the middle and the long, but a 29th on the sprint, which I mean is still pretty amazing.
Yeah,
but,
I think that the sprint is so different to all the other modes that I don't think that that's really representative of how they're going to do, especially in this course, because this area is so open and so easy to run straight on. That I think I think we can discount the bad run in the sprint.
Definitely. So how are we doing with everyone in? Am I allowed to join?
We are almost there. Not
yet.
Shall
I join in?
But no, not yet.
Okay,
I'll let you know, but we are almost there. Don't worry.
Okay. They're all having to download the map in order to do some. Most of the time we send them the map beforehand, but this time not.
Yeah, you went through the previous solutions too quickly this week.
Sorry.
Normally you and Chris like to take your time with them, but this week you're
right. This time we only had one set of solutions because there's only one, because we had the Skio, and we have the Street View, which don't have solutions to go through. They're just kind of races, so they don't have solutions. So I'm afraid
you're good to join now.
Have to race. Okay, I will join in. And
I'm tempted to make it raining because it is raining at the moment in the UK. So
it's
it's
literally just started raining. In fact, there's a rainbow right out there, right out.
Oh.
It's pretty apt. So yeah, that might be quite fun. I'm just joining in.
Although it's very noisy, I'm going to turn it off.
Okay.
I'm not, it makes it too noisy.
Okay, so let's me run through those 6 who are on this final. We have Haruki Ohashi from Japan, we have Rune de Klerk from Belgium, we have Joe Sunny from Britain, we have Tamas Barney from Hungary, Aidan Smith also from Great Britain, and Mikey Adams, those last 2 both from South Yorkshire Orienteers as well. So 3 Brits, 3
lots of Brits. Lots
of Brits, which we don't often have actually. So and 3 foreigners trying to do that. I've just crashed out of that. Mine's just crashed out. So
okay,
we might have to go with you commentating, and as we
it's fine. I started again.
Okay, let me join in. If it happens again, that's fine. But it worked for the women's race, okay?
It's been a while since we had any technical issues. Oh no, we just lost Haruki. That's worse.
No.
That is worse. Although that does potentially mean he was going to disconnect anyway. So.
Okay, I'm in.
Yes.
Okay, if I drop out again, then you just have to go without me.
I'm going to wait a little bit and see if Haruki can join again.
Yeah, that would be really annoying.
Because he is currently winning.
He is currently winning. It's, as you said,
or in joint first.
It's joint first on the standings, but again, we have to say this is based on the whole 10 stage standings rather than yes, he's back in. Fantastic. This is based on
the 10 Do you guys want to leave again so that we can get him loaded in quicker?
Yes. Does it have to re-download again?
Yeah,
time?
You will.
Okay.
Yeah, which is sad. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is based, the standings, these top 6 are based on the top or the 10 stage competition, as opposed to the just the results from catching features. That's why we do have a little bit of a spread in terms of the catching features. But to be honest, all these contenders here, all these competitors here are absolutely fantastic. They're real pros, to be honest, at catching features. So definitely going to be exciting. Just a reminder, we think our favourites here, Joe Sunley, he's got 2 first places in the long and in the sprint from this weekend. He's done loads and loads and loads of catching features before. But the main challenges to that, Mikey Adams with 3 second places, very, very consistent. And then we have Haruki Ohashi has got a 5th and 6th. Rune de Klerk's got a 5th, a 7th and an 8th. Tamas Barani has a 4th place on the middle distance. So this one, that was a very, very technical one. So he could well do something special on this one, but his other results were 10th and 14th. So a little bit less consistent. And Aidan Smith, 7th, 9th and 11th for him. So we'll just have to, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think we really saw the women splitting up a lot on the course, but I don't think this is quite going to happen for the men's race at all. I think they'll be a lot closer together, although we're really going to see, hopefully, this good effect of the butterfly loop doing its thing in order to kind of split them up, or in order to force them to do their own thing. As we've seen, the visibility on this catching features course is pretty good. So following is easier as a result, I think.
Probably. Although there's lots of lumps and bumps as well, so I think people do go out of sight over the hills.
Yeah, so. That's very, very true. So, but we'll hopefully try and split them up. How are we doing with downloading of the map?
70%.
Okay, cool. Nearly
there.
there.
I asked Joe what happened on the middle, and he said that he messed up the 2 controls at the end and lost like 4 minutes.
Oh no!
It is possible. He does make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. He is human.
And we've seen mistakes, wasn't it? Between Mikey and Joe at the end of the other.
No, it was Tam Wilson and Joe at the end of the sprint in Argentina, and Joe made like a little mistake right at the start, and Tam got away a little bit, and then it was just closing the gap and closing the gap and closing the gap. So we'll see. I think this course will be very close. I think that we will see a big pack for a lot of it. Obviously, it's going to get split in half during the butterfly loops, but I think hopefully it splits it fairly. So the split is completely random. So it could be 5 go one way and 1 goes the other way. Which would be
really?
rubbish. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so it's not 3 and 3?
No. Okay, that's everyone in, so you can get in there. So yeah, hopefully it goes 3 and 3. But I think that there'll be 2 packs of 3 for a lot of it, and then at the end we'll see how they come together.
Okay, yeah. So everyone just getting in the actual course, ready to start, ready to be counting down. Again, we've got that very, very short control to number 1, over the crossbar fence into the second control, and then that's where we're going to split them up. And again, not to the 10th control that we're going to see who's managed to make it there. And I think everybody was the same, apart from Haruki Ohashi to the first control. They were all just 17 seconds.
It must be that lag, that Japanese lag, He's got further descent is there.
So let's have a look. See, we've definitely got 2 of them splitting.
Rune and Aiden going one way, and it looks like is it a group of 4? It does look a group of 4 and a group of 2.
So who've we got going to the
we got
northern group?
Rune and Aiden. Rune and Aiden are going north, and then we've got Mikey, Joe, Tamas, and Haruki going through to the
eastern group. Okay, so maybe there will be an advantage to that group of 2 going together.
For the most part, we should try and follow Joe and Mikey, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be where the win is going to come from. But we will intermittently flick back and just check that Aiden and Rune are doing their thing, not making too many mistakes.
So yeah,
Rune is pretty solid here, so I think he'll probably keep the 2 of them on track.
Absolutely. So there we have the group into the 4th control. Joe already in the lead, and the rest of them really close.
It's not a big lead, but it's just I don't know where he finds it. Where did he find the time? He's just always that little bit in front of everybody else. I just do not get it.
They have Tamas, Mikey, and Haruki are all very close together, but they're really, really so close. Those 3, but yeah, Joe's just managing to get those few seconds, just edging ahead of the others. Let's have a quick look at where Aiden and Rune are.
Yeah, still right next to each other, just coming back in after their side of the butterfly leg. So no issues there. Look at that. You can actually see the butterfly loops are pretty even in terms of time taken. You didn't really get a feel for that with the women's, but it does look like they're not too dissimilar.
No, you really didn't. So the Eastern loop a little bit quicker possibly, and now they've kind of swapped over. So that group of 4, we've got Joe Sunley, Tamas Barani, Mike Adams, Haruki Ohashi, all going to the 7th control. Oh, possible little mistake there from Joe, just being slightly off, but he retains the lead and very still heading, absolute dead on the line to get to the 8th control, just over this ridge and then down into that kind of
But they can only stay straight on the line for so long. At some point they're going to have to go round that big uncrossable fence. So.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see who kind of gets stumped by that one.
Yeah, it's gonna catch someone out. And someone's not going to have planned ahead enough, and they're going to end up looking at the fence being like, oh,
Yeah,
through there.
I'm excited to see that, and I'm also excited to see what it's going to be like when they all get to the 10th control, because that one's coming up very soon. Let's have a quick look at the other group. Rune and Aiden still very close together. Aiden maybe not quite as much on the line into this 9th control. They've both
You'd have to assume that the Joe Sunley group is going to be slightly in front, but it doesn't look like it's going to be by very much. And
you think that luck of that draw having four of them together, although now Joe Sunley just gone kind of off the line to get to this control, but you can see that one ahead in that lovely open area, and there we go. So now they're at the 10th control. They're just
look at that, everyone back together
ahead. Everybody's so close, and now that second group have caught up there, but they are in the 5th and 6th places. So
Mikey Adams has fallen behind a little bit. I mean, obviously he's not that far behind, but he does look like he's lost a smidge of time somewhere, and he's gonna have to try and find that somehow.
Yeah, goodness me. So everybody, big train into the 11th. Somebody has gone a lot straighter, and I think maybe managed to catch up. It's one of the group of 4, and now everybody is kind of crossing over, choosing slightly different routes here. How far do you go into the forest? How long do you kind of stay on this track? And now we're going to see what happens.
Tamas is just like hugging Joe, right behind each other.
And looks like we'll see here as they've managed to spot this gap. Let's see if anybody else makes a different route.
Looks like Rune is going to the bottom. I don't think I think only Kirsten out of the women did that. I don't see it being quicker. It's so much further.
So I think we've got Joe, Tamas, and Mikey have all gone through that kind of the crossing the gates south of control number 12. I think everybody else has gone. Haruki, Rune, and Aiden have all gone to the gates to the northeast. So they've really
looks like Rune maybe just pulled them off.
Yeah.
Rune just dragged them off the wrong way.
I think you're right. And now they've got to have the kind of the same problem again in reverse, and they've all headed straight to kind of 13.
That's not the way to go.
Know exactly where they are. And now they're just going to hit this fence, and they've got to know exactly where they've got to go.
I think the fastest way is back in and out of the same crossing point.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the quickest way. There's not much in it.
This
but
one's
definitely
a lot closer, yeah.
Going straight at the control and then running along the fence is the worst of the two. You got to aim for one of the crossing points. But there you go. It doesn't seem like they lost enough time to let this other group get back in. Rune closing the gap a little bit. Wow, this has been so close.
This is really close, but you can see Joe Sunley absolutely bang on the line there. It's just slightly ahead of Tamas, 2 of them. Now this is the really difficult one that we saw a lot of the women make mistakes on, but they've all of these have come slightly further to the right, so absolutely bang on, and now just out for the finish. Goodness me, so close between Joe and Tamas here to get to the finish. It's goodness me, there's going to be seconds in it.
Mikey right behind as well.
Up this slope. Mikey's right behind, but there we go. I think we have Joe in first place, Tamas in second place, and Mikey in third place. That was so close. Let's have a little look further back. We've got Rune and Aiden. Yeah, he's in made a gap back to Aiden Smith, who is also just about to finish. Where is Haruki?
Looks like Haruki made a wobble somewhere, maybe at control 12.
Yeah, possibly. Just gone into 13 now. So yeah, one control, one wrong control, and you can absolutely blow your chances there when everyone else is just going so fast ahead. But yeah, I think maybe there was a lucky forking there with the group, and really there was nothing that
I don't know. There was nothing.
Was there a lucky forking?
I don't think there was anything that.
Or was this going to happen anyway?
I don't think anything was stopping Rune and Aiden winning that course after the butterfly legs, because they were right back in the group. They were maybe a little bit behind, but they didn't lose that much time. It was just that control 12, picking the wrong route choice, going to the far. That was a really big difference in the route choice. I didn't expect it to be quite as big a difference.
And Haruki now's gone too far again, making a mistake on this. There we go. On this
a very similar. It's a very familiar mistake.
Yeah, although most of the women didn't go that far from the ride. To be honest, he kept going a lot further. A lot of them could kind of tell how far they'd gone and knew to head back to the ride, or kind of stopped in the right place to try and find where they were. So there we go. Haruki into 6th and final place. So congrats there to Joe Sunley for taking that one. Tamas Barony 2nd place, Mikey Adams in 3rd, Rudy Clark 4th, Aidan Smith 5th, and Haruki Yohashi in 6th place. Congrats to all 6, and what a fantastically close fought race as well. Goodness me. Well done to all 6 of those. And that's kind of the end of the grand finale of the British Open. We've hope you've enjoyed kind of taking part and getting involved in all the different challenges. It would be great to get your feedback. Hopefully you've been able to leave that if you had any comments or anything. Let's bring Chris back in though. Chris, congrats on another great event. I guess what's coming up? What's the future plans for Lockdown Now?
Yeah, I mean, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Future, well, I guess in the UK, we're coming out of lockdown now, and the summer is here. So hopefully we're going to get back out and do some real orienteering this summer in some events. So we're going to be changing name, but that'll be announced later this week. Can't say that now.
Oh, Chris, I hoped you were going to announce it right here and now.
No, we'll have to wait a bit more for that.
Oh.
But we are going to do a junior competition. I think it's like about the 17th of June. So we'll contact people about that. So that's adults can still take part. It's like something fun, as like training, but there won't be any results. We'll be focusing on the juniors. So there'll be under 20s, under 16s, under 12s, and then we'll split boys and girls as well. So hopefully we can get some interesting competition there, and we'll be going to Turkey for that one. So that's where the junior world champs will be, either later this year or next year. So we've got some relevant maps for that, which might be of interest to some people. But even if you have no ambition on that, there are going to still be some interesting maps.
Definitely, that's going to be a really, really fun one, and it'll be great to give some due prominence to all the juniors who've been very diligently taking part and showing off their orienteering skills. That's fantastic. So that's coming up in maybe three weeks time then, I guess, Chris?
Yeah, about 3 weeks time.
Fantastic. Okay. Is that all from both of you, from Craig and from Chris?
Don't forget, next week, for anyone who's interested in watching some catching features, it's the Catching Features Home International, so Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales. Saturday.
Be sure to tune in.
It's a little plug for me. Sorry.
plug away. Absolutely happy for you to do that. Well, yeah, go and enjoy that Home Internationals if you want to do that. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks everybody for taking part. We'll be back in about 3 weeks for the junior event. But until then, keep staying safe. Enjoy. Now you can hopefully get out into a little bit more terrain and do some actual orienteering as well as lockdown orienteering. We will see you again in 3 weeks time.
Bye.